Hi. As part of my campaign, I wanted to offer this platform so people could submit questions to me directly, and then I could provide thoughtful, long form answers, not just campaign slogans like, yes, we can, or build back better, or make America great again. I wanted to give some more information, more insight into the kind of person I am and what I truly believe. This question was recently submitted by a local Floridian. What does the Constitution mean to you? I gotta admit, this question bugs me a little bit because I think it's the wrong question. If I were to ask you, what do you think 2 plus 2 should be? It doesn't matter what I believe it should be. It matters what it is. 2 plus 2 is defined and we know what it is because it exists and we know what it is. So I feel like this question is like that. A better question is, what is the Constitution? What does it say? And what's your responsibility to it? Now, those are questions that really matter. And unfortunately, the question as posed is relevant because most Americans can't answer those questions. And I'd say most politicians can't answer those questions. If you had asked me this a few years ago, I would have given a different answer, an incorrect answer. I used to view the federal government as above the state governments and that the Constitution granted rights to the people. And this is completely upside down and backwards. The Constitution doesn't grant rights. There is no such thing as constitutional rights. Let that sink in for a minute. There is no such thing as constitutional rights. We believe in something called natural rights. They're inherent to humanity. They existed before the Constitution. They exist without the Constitution. The Constitution, rather, is there to put limits and bounds on the federal government. Think of it as putting chains on the government and building a wall around it to define its boundaries. The rights exist with or without the federal government. The way our system works, the people hold the political power. And the people delegated authority to the state governments. The state governments' representatives came together and signed a contract together, a compact. This was the Constitution. The federal government did not exist until the Constitution was signed. But unfortunately, the federal government has broken its chains and it has left its boundaries long, long ago. To me, in my opinion, the federal government has become a monstrosity. It's unconstitutional at best and tyrannical at worst. So what does the Constitution mean to me? It's an amazing document. It's an incredible piece of writing. But unfortunately, I believe it's become powerless and useless due to our complacency and ignorance. It's been forgotten by too many of the American people. Your government does not care about the Constitution. And unfortunately, many of your neighbors likewise do not care about the Constitution. If it's to endure for the next generation to experience and receive its benefits, it's our responsibility to educate ourselves, each other, and our youth to learn about its origins, its meaning, and its qualities. It's also our responsibility to take local action, to be involved in local government. And unfortunately, just voting is not enough. In America, the people hold all political power. The people are the government. If we lose sight of that and we do not take responsibility to govern ourselves, then what can we expect other than a slow creep towards tyranny? People want to be taken care of. People want to feel safe. This is natural. It's a natural tendency. Too often people look first to the government to provide those things. Governance and liberty are at odds with each other. The more government, the less liberty. The less government, the more liberty. Safety and provision are not promises offered by freedom. Freedom offers no guarantees. Freedom requires personal responsibility. Freedom requires hard work. Freedom requires faith. Freedom is like the children of Israel wandering out into the wilderness. Many of them actually turned back and wanted to go back into slavery. Think about that. They would have rather been slaves where they had provision and safety than to go off into the wilderness. Freedom is dangerous and scary, but so is tyranny. I would choose freedom. How about you? I'd like to give credit to KrisAnne Hall for helping me to better understand these concepts. She's been teaching about the Constitution for years. She recently had a documentary come out called Non-Compliant. I'll put a link in the description to that. You can watch it free on her website. I'll also link a podcast episode of hers. I highly recommend every American watch this. Become more acquainted with our Constitution. Learn what it is. Why do we have it? Why does it exist? Education and local action is how we restore liberty and limited government as defined by the Constitution. If you have any other questions that you'd like me to address or answer, send me an email, ryanforoffice@gmail.com. As always, tell the establishment to pound sand.